becomes possible?
All right, thank you very much, man. All right, so number one thing I'm going to say is that you have to undo the thought of I don't have enough knowledge to start this thing. Undo the knowledge of I don't have what enough, undo the thought of I don't have enough knowledge to start this thing. When I was going to start Beauty Electronics, right, that was in 2016, and my hostel was in PPL. How many of us know PPL? That's here. My hostel was there. My hostel was my workspace, was my office, was my everything. So at that point, I just wanted to start a tech company that eventually is now a multi-millionaire company at the moment, and we are trying to upgrade. So from there, I was just like, I don't know much about this. I don't know about. I was like, I'm going to start. So just start with the illusion that you have. Then you will now learn as you are going. So now I'm going to say something that our company has this arm where we do solar installation for people, solar energy training and all of those things. The first solar contract I got, I knew nothing about solar. The first contract, because people, BTO, I was like, oh, went to solar now. So then they gave us the contract. I knew nothing about solar. After getting the contract, I didn't read about it. I did physics now. There's solar physics, this and that. So do you not know what I did? When I wanted to go and do the practical parts, I now took someone that has been doing it along. So when we got there, he showed me this is how you do this. I said, I know this thing, blah, blah, blah. And today, I'm not an expert in it. Do you get? So just don't say that I don't have that knowledge. Let me first go. No, just start like that. As you are doing it, you get to know about it. Do you understand that? Then also another thing that you have to undo is that somebody is doing it already. My dear, there's nothing you want to do that nobody is not doing. You just have to come and do it differently. After all, we have cars before they came up with electric cars like Tesla and the rest. Do you understand? Now, also too, our company has a branch that is called TechMart. What we do in this TechMart space is that we sell robotics kits, drone kits, embedded system accessories, my control of this. We sell them to students, to people that do tech. And before we started, of course, we have the big guys already. There are people that are doing it already. So then we now joined the game. Of course, the big guys will overcome the small fishes and all of that. Do you understand? Then we now started this campus store where we train people on solar energy, robotics, and web development for free. So we moved from LASU to OAU to Redeemers University to Bowen. And why we moved like that, we now interacted with our guys that, oh guys, what's up? Why are you guys not doing innovation? All of this? They're like, oh, if we want to buy tech components, we are in Osun State, we are in Akure, we have to order from Lagos. So by the time we order, before it comes and all of those things, you know, the stress, all of those, we're like, oh really? We now utilize that opportunity. I guess what I'm saying, like people are doing tech stuff, but we're like, okay, wait, people are not really, people in other regions that are not in Lagos are having difficulty getting components. Do you know what we did? I won't tell you what we did. But today, if you are in either Kaduna or Abuja, if you want to buy tech components and reach out to us, you get it in at least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes. I won't tell you the secrets. So instead of you order from Lagos and maybe you are getting it in 6 hours, or they'll tell you we'll send the second day, you will get your own at least 30 minutes. 30 minutes. So that's it. So you will come up with your own idea. Don't say that somebody is doing, just come and do your own differently. Then lastly, I will say that remove the consumer mentality. Like, right, try to think as an innovator. TikTok came out, you are using it. How many of us remember to go? Do you know to go? Yeah. You guys, did you know to go? No, I'm talking to them. They cannot know to go. They cannot relate. So remember, there was to go. So WhatsApp should now say that there's to go now. They're already doing it now. Who is taking over now? You will see that WhatsApp, they're always updating their whatever stuff because they don't want to go out of what's to trend. So please remove the consumer mentality and start taking an innovator, and God will help us. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, sir. So, ma'am, your question says, many young people think leadership requires a position. Can you share an example of how a young person can create impact without holding any formal title?
Okay, so first of all, there are many ways you can make impact without holding any formal title. But for you to make that impact, one thing you must understand is that the change you really want starts from you. The change you want starts from you. So from where you are in your classroom, there are many things you can do differently in that classroom to make it better. For example, you notice your classmates are always dumping the things they eat on the floor and all of that. You can make impact through, number one, you can help them clean it up, pick up the nylons, pick up the papers, even when no one is watching you. And also, you can educate them to know that what they are doing is would have negative impact on our environment, right? And that right there is impact. And also, sometimes we think about impact as something that has to do with title, when they now recognize you as the top this or that, or you are the number one in this, or you are the leader of this, or the class captain of the class and all. Leadership is really that thing in you that would make you to see someone beside you, probably that needs help, and you offer to help. Making impact right there. When you offer help to your friend, to people around you and all of that, without you having any title. And I tell you for free, while you are doing that, when no one is watching you, that is how you are building yourself up until when you get to position. And that's why today, people say a lot of things about our country, Nigeria, talk a lot of things about our leaders. And one thing they don't realize is, if they put you in that same position, you will make worse mistakes than those leaders you're criticizing, because we look at you where you are, we don't have any position. You are not making any impact. You're not doing anything that makes you different. So when you get there, you absolutely make more errors than the leaders you're criticizing. So that's why you should recognize, as young persons that we are, recognize that wherever you are, you can make a change. You can impact your world, and you always have something to offer. You have water. Some people don't have water. You have food. Some people don't have food. So that ability for you to see something and you discover that you have something to offer, and then you push to do it, that right there is the impact. And while you're doing that, the whole, what's it called, positions and whatever it is would come. They will celebrate you for it.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much. In addition to what she has said, I would like to say that for the students, it is not necessary that you are the class captain of your class before you put your class in order. For the university, you don't have to be the HOC before you send that important document to your group. You don't necessarily have to be the class captain, or you don't have to be the HOC. However, do things because it is worth doing. It is not the title that matters, rather it is the impact and the intentionality within you that matters. Thank you. So this last question goes to all panelists, and it says that if the average student here continues to consume education without intentionally building leadership capacity, practical skills, or civic responsibility, what future do we realistically create, and what must change now to avoid that outcome?
So we'll be building a future that is at risk. I like to, okay, so this looks like what interests me. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I like that you know is that education is anything that makes you a useful human being. So the next time as a graduate you see a tailor and you think she's not educated, that's because you don't know what it means to be educated. Provided you cannot sew your own clothes, that tailor is equally educated. It is quite unfortunate that we link education in Nigeria to certification. No. I ask my students a couple of questions. What are you doing with the degree if it does not help you build pedigree? What are you doing with the score if there is nothing in your skull? What is the essence? What is the essence? What is the essence of the distinction? Everybody wants a first class. So in the end, what is the essence of the distinction if you cannot put poverty into extinction? Why? No, I don't know, maybe I'm reading poems already, but I need you to just reflect on these things. Because in the end, your 2-1 is a waste if you cannot put 1 and 2 together to survive in life. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you call education, think about it in terms of usefulness. What is your use? I like that you take this seriously. As a human being, you are not useless. You are probably used less. When you are used less, you appear useless. So, you have a mandate. The mandate is to find your use. What is that thing you do naturally? I am a comic. She says she's seen a couple of my skits. I love to teach. I've been doing it since I was probably an undergraduate myself. So the question is, we are moving beyond the age when we are looking at your grade. We are looking at your relevance. What are you capable of doing? What value do you radiate? And you know what we call learning? Learning is a set of experiences that bring about a permanent change in your behavioral pattern. It doesn't matter your grade until something conspicuous changes about you, you have not learned anything. And the final stage of learning is application. That thing you know, if you cannot put it into use, you don't know it. Knowledge, learning is measured in terms of application, understanding, synthesis. These are stages of learning, but the most important is application. You must begin to apply that thing. And since this is supposed to be our last turn, I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, many of us board buses. If you get to your bus stop before you say Owa in Lagos, what will happen to you? If you graduate before you find what you can do with it, it may be useless. Start using it now. Thank you.
Wow. Wow.
All right, Doctor, that was a great one. Thank you, sir. All right, for me, I will say that we'll tend to become victims of other people's decision. We'll become what? Victim of what? Other people's decision. If, for instance, now, Dangote says that cement is going to be 50,000 naira per bag, what will happen? Okay, like, yeah, it's going to affect some people, right? Why it is not going to affect some people? Let's be sincere. In fact, some people can even say that, see, I'm tired of Nigeria, I want to go to the UK, and they will go. What if other countries stop producing cars? What will happen here in Nigeria? We'll go back to horses and bicycle. Are you seeing? We'll become what? Victims of what? Other people's decision. Currently, we are trying to bring in some stuff from China at the moment. And guess what? There's a delay. Why? Because China is on holiday. Are you seeing that? So, it's that time that we start thinking, even at some point, even say I'm feeling bad, and that's what is also happening in Nigeria, that they'll tell you that fuel is 2,000 naira today, and we'll start buying it. If you know you are tired, go back to your village. Do you get? So I'm going to leave with that as let's start thinking, let's be innovative, let's come up with to solve problems. Just start the way you are. Don't worry, just do it anyhow. It will later make sense. But remember that if we do not take steps, we'll become what? Victim of what? Other people's decision. Thank you very much.
Wow.
So I think they have both answered the question, and I want to bring it back home for us. One of the ways you would also be able to apply whatever skill or education, you don't need to wait till you graduate. And many of us here are members of school clubs. I don't know if LASU has JCI, Enactors, and the likes. Those are good grounds for you, not just to build your skill, to apply it and to have that experience, such that after school, your CV will not be blank. There is something there for you. Even if you don't become an ESCO in JCI or your school clubs, you will end up having experience as a member. And the good thing about clubs like this is that even if you are just an ordinary member, you get to serve in committees rather, and you do outreaches. Look for a school club. If you don't have, you can create one with your friends. Find people that are interested in building these skills. Come together and do something. I know TEDx, there is TEDx, LASU, and the likes. Your former director happens to be someone that I know. And there was somebody that volunteered for the last TEDx. When she sent me the certificate she got, she was very excited. She had no idea that she could volunteer and get skills while on campus. So I encouraged her. I told her to look for groups on campus, programs. So when they are doing a program, maybe First Bank is coming to your school, they are doing call for volunteers, and you're like, I'm not volunteering. But the moment you see free food available, you are quick to run there, then you're not developing your skills. What you should do is to volunteer for those positions and be strategic about volunteering, please. Don't volunteer. I'm still coming back to secondary school. Don't volunteer for just anyhow positions. Yes, you can get the skills in those anyhow positions, but be strategic about volunteering. If you write, you should be in the content department. If you can take pictures, you should be in the media department. If you are interested in organizing events planning, you should be in logistics. Even those who are doing ushering, if an usher packages CV for you, you'll be like, show you ushering learn. Is it more than just ushering? So be intentional about acquiring these skills. Apply to programs. Look out for programs. See. life is beyond Lagos State. Life is beyond Yanoiba. Look out for opportunities that would allow you to even come together in teams. I don't know if Alt Prize is in LASU, but when I was in OAU, I participated in Alt Prize, and I got to represent my school at the regional level and all of that. That skill alone, it wasn't like we eventually got to the final stage. But anytime we go to places then, and we're like, we did Alt Prize, represented OAU, people will look at us and say, eh? And it was in our CV for the longest, but because we've grown and the likes, some things have to leave the CV and the likes. Look out for opportunities like that. If you don't have business idea, you have ChatGPT. Please go to ChatGPT. Talk to ChatGPT. Let it help you. Give you ideas that you can build with. You have a pain in your heart, maybe in your community. Your community is dirty. Gather people. Pick them up. Do you know how you can position yourself? Go under climate opportunities. Tell them that you cleaned your environment. You're contributing to SDG. Look for SDG that is related to what you are doing. See, the level you are at, secondary school or university, see, take SDG, hold it to art. Do something about SDG. Look for something. If you are interested in agriculture, you can plant. Teach people how to build their home garden. Your SDG can be connected to zero hunger. Your SDG can be connected to good health and well-being. Your SDG can be connected to responsible production and consumption. What are we saying? Do something. Don't sit back till you graduate. If you sit back till you graduate, we have different graces. Some people have the grace. After school, things will just go on well for them, despite not having skills. And there are some people that 2-3 years after school, they're still struggling because they refused to build something. And the good thing for secondary school students, please don't wait till you get to the university before you start doing things. We have 14-year-old developers. We have 14-year-old designers. They are putting Nigeria on the world map. They are moving beyond LASU IBA to putting Nigeria on the world map. So what you do is to find your interest, look for the skills that you can build, and start now. Take the word from my fellow panelists. They say start with what you have. Start in your school. Start in your home. Start with your siblings. Gather people. Teach them during the holidays. Don't wait for the big break before you can actually break big. I don't know if I was able to do that. I want to copy.
That was lovely, Ma. Thank you.
Okay, so my fellow panelists have said a whole lot, and at some point I felt, what's else? What do I want to say? If I want to talk about SDG now, she has finished everything about SDG for you guys. But basically, there's something I want to just quickly share with you. I graduated from Lagos State University in September 2025. And, you know, one thing that happened was that I watched my classmates, people that we graduated together. Many of them will come to the group chat and be like, what next? If una see job, make una tell me. I'm so sorry to say, there are some of us that we are not looking out for job. Why? Because I think I was in maybe 400 level first semester. A company already told me, once you're done with school, let us know so you can start working with us. And that was what I did. I graduated in September. I started working with them by October, right? So it's not like something is different, and that's why Elizabeth can have a company that she can start working with them immediately she graduated from the university. What actually was the difference between myself and my classmates, of which we all studied together? Most likely, I mean, we attended classes together, and they would think that we were, of course, at the same level together. What was the difference between us, myself and them, was that while they were in school, focusing on the course we all came to study, of which I studied too, and I graduated with a very good result as well. I was as well building myself. I got into LASU with the digital skill I had when I came into LASU was content writing. I transitioned from content writing to content marketing, and now to programs and project management. I intentionally spent time building myself, studying courses, taking courses, like the things my fellow panelists have said. Taking courses intentionally. There were things that I did intentionally. There were times that we'll go on break, and some of course, my classmates will say, oh, it's time for his LASU break. And if you're in LASU at the time, oh, we just graduated, right? I want to be saying story like at the time we were in LASU, but I can still say it. At the time we were in LASU, where LASU calendar was very fast. There was a year we did about 3 semesters in a year. So, and that was the time we went. In between those 3 semesters, I spent time volunteering. I spent time learning. in the 2 days or 1 week holiday that our VC gives us, because that's what we say, VC gave us 1 week. In that 1 week, I will go and take courses on Coursera, courses on YouTube. YouTube is the most easy to access platform for you to take courses. I download videos, and that's still what I do till today. If you check my phone, you see videos downloaded. Why? Because I recognize that I can make a difference, I can be different, and I can be anything I put my heart to be if I take my time to study, if I take my time to learn. And that's why today I can easily switch between any of the skills I have, and I will work with them. I was working at, the company that employed me in October, I worked with them till December. January, February, I'm already working with the one they taught us in LASU, teaching. And I'm not doing physical teaching, online teaching. Do you understand? So you can switch between most of these things. I have different CVs. Why? Because there are so many skills that you can't put in one CV. I have about 2 to 3 of them. That, okay, if it's this opportunity I'm applying for, I apply with this CV. If it's this one, I apply with this CV. Why do I have so much, or why have I done so much? Why do I have so much to write in the CV? It's because during the time where we were all, of course, in school, studying a particular course, I was learning. I was investing in myself and all of that. And that's one thing you should spend your time doing. And for every time I get an opportunity to speak to young people, I'm young as well, right? And there's something I'd always like to say to them, which is the fact that you can be different, and no matter the background you come from, no matter where you are, you can be different, you can make the change, you can be big, you can be whatsoever you put your heart to be. As long as you continue to learn, put in the principle of learning and exploring those ideas, those things that you've learned, put them to work, do them intentionally. While you are doing them, the recognition will come. I had my first international trip last year. Why? Because we were doing something that was different. And it's not, of course, because there's something different about us to others. It's just that we've spent enough time to learn and to grow, to position ourselves with value. We have something to offer. I have something to offer. And that's why I can walk up to any company today if I want to work with them, and we'll start negotiating salary. There are many of my mates that will just say, hey, buy me, why share 50K? 50K for what? No. Because we have the value to offer. And you can't just say, oh, I want to be earning 200K when you've not gotten so much value. Volunteering is something you can really explore. Volunteer far and wide. And like she said, be strategic in your volunteering. And in all of this, remember that God would always help you out when you first spend time and recognize the fact that you're different, and then you get the help of God. Thank you.
Well, a round of applause. Okay.
I want to just quickly say that we are not saying you should do all these things at the expense of your academics. Please. When you are reading, don't let us see you doing voluntary. You are carrying crate of minerals because you want to volunteer. Please. But time, and the thing is that you will learn time management, because when you are supposed to be reading, you will not be in JCI. Please, though, I hope there's no JCI person. Don't be in JCI meeting when you have exam tomorrow. You're supposed to be reading, so that you can graduate well and graduate fine. We see first class graduates, and they're not just coming out with their first class, they're coming out with relevant skills. So please, your academics and your social media positioning, don't let, I should not open your Facebook, and what I am seeing is haters gonna hate, potatoes go, no. I should not sit and say fake friends everywhere. No. I know it is, we can still pardon secondary school students because they are still growing, but even now, if I'm in SS3, I should not open your Facebook page and I'm seeing fake friends everywhere. Everybody wolf in sheep clothing. I should be seeing content that speaks to the person that you are and the things that you can do. If you are in university here and you don't have a LinkedIn account, today, before you leave here, after you leave here, go and open your LinkedIn account. Follow people, see how they are doing. If you go on LinkedIn, you see some people say, I'm 18 every time. I'm 18 years old. When I started this LinkedIn, I'm 18 years old. They're always telling us about their age. But if you check their followers, you see 45,000 followers. They are gathering those people, and when it is time to launch, Emmanuel Unduka, before he left school, like, he already had a strong positioning across all of his social media platforms. So use those things to your advantage, please. You can watch video of, what are they calling this dance? You can watch one, but the next video should be videos that are adding to your life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hate to say this, but we've come to the end of this session. Please give us a round of applause. The panelists a standing ovation, please. They've spoken impacted words. They've said a lot of things, and we're glad to have them here.